All right, boys. Next up, Seattle Kraken. Huge surprise last year. 100 points. They were fourth in the Pacific, 12th out of 32 teams. First time in the playoffs. First and last time in the playoffs. Last year, they beat the Avs in the first round. Huge upset. Lost to Dallas in the second round, 4-3. 4 games to 3. 35-1 to win the Cup this year. They brought in Kyler Yamamoto, Pierre Bellemare, Brian Dumoulin from Pittsburgh. They said bye to Morgan Geekie, Ryan Donato, Daniel Sprung, Jonas Donskoy, Carson Soucy, and Martin Jones. They got less than $1 million in cap space right now, but this team basically, like I said, the big story last year. Biz, do you think they repeat what they did last year, or they kind of settle back down to the first year?
Strength in numbers. Strength in numbers. I think that's a solid roster. And last year, let's not forget, they did this with Martin Jones playing in net for the better part of that first half of the season. I think Grubauer is going to be awesome throughout the entire year. He's comfortable. He's settled in. Love their decor. I think that they're from top to bottom, first line to fourth line. They got good energy. They move fast. They play as a team, a good 5-man unit. They're disciplined, great special teams. So I can't see a reason why these guys miss playoffs. And you got to think a guy like Matty Beniers, another year more mature. I love these guys, and I'm sorry I doubted them last year. I got them making playoffs. I said I had 5 in the Pacific Division, and they're going to be all right.
I couldn't agree more. I owe all the fans an apology in Seattle. I actually think they're better this year because somehow they were as good as they were last year with shit goaltending. So you have to think that that's going to change a little bit. But, I mean, look at what Tolvanen did. The guy comes over and lights it up. It's like had nothing going in Nashville. They get him on waivers. He's an immediate impact player. They have a great top 3 lines. I mean, when Yanni Gourde's playing on the third line, right, you can imagine this team. I think they're going to be even better. I think that the goaltending can't be that bad again. It's like, to me, Grubauer, you saw him finish second in the Vezina a few years ago, and then it was kind of a struggle, and then all of a sudden, like, he turned it on, right? I mean, he was able to beat the Avalanche in Colorado in Game 7. I think they have a bounce-back year at the goaltending position. I think they've gotten better overall. I know Dumoulin struggled, and Penguins fans will say you're crazy, but I think slotting in there, possibly playing with Justin Schultz on the last pair, they do a good job. It's just such a hard-working team. Like, their identity is to outwork you. They don't have a superstar, so they know that they all got to work together. They roll 4 lines a lot, and they're just coming at you in waves. So I don't think that they take a step back. If anything, they're probably even a little bit better. I got them in the playoffs for sure. What else about Seattle did I think? Oh, McCann. The year he had last year, dude, was outstanding, and I think he could continue it. Eberle's a leader. He's been in the league a long time. All of a sudden, he's a veteran. I feel like just yesterday we were living together. He was a young rookie, and now he's done a good job in terms of getting there and showing guys what it takes to be a pro. It's just a bunch of guys up and down that lineup that have kind of proven their worth, getting a chance in Seattle. And after that first year struggle, last year was a shocker, and this year I don't think it'll be a surprise that they're just competing again all season in the playoffs for me.
What do you got for us, Merles?
Yeah, I got them 4th in the division. I like the Kraken. I love what they did last year. I love their style of play, the 4-second lines, I like to call it, where everybody goes out and plays the exact same way. They picked up Pierre-Edouard Bellemare from Tampa. He's just a great veteran. Penalty kill, wins faceoffs. He knows how to win. I love that pickup for him. They got a young D from the AHL. He was an AHL All-Star, Riker Evans. Look for him to get some time up. These new young kids, they're like better than everybody. They're all so skilled. The game is wide open. When you're in the regular season, I love to see guys like this getting called up, and they're going to win a lot of games. I love the Kraken because they're hosting the Winter Classic. So when I want to get out to Seattle, I want to be treated well. So I got the Kraken in the playoffs wild card spot.
There's only one way they miss playoffs, is if that fucking liability buoy keeps hanging around that team. That fucking mascot is the worst.
Dream Haunter.
Hey, Dream Haunter. Just a fucking...
He also owns you.
Just a straight up lib. Robbing Targets, robbing CVS's, just a piece of shit SJW. Fuck you, buoy. You fucking greasy fuck.
Gee, we're going to be heading there for the Winter Classic. What do you think of the Seattle this year? Playoffs or no?
I think Seattle does make the playoffs. I'm most excited to watch Matt Beniers, 24 goals last year. Spent the summer skating with the Hughes brothers. So I think he's going to take a big step. I think 30 goals at least. I'm hammering that over. I love Seattle. I love, just like Merle said, 4 second lines. But my biggest thing I'm watching this year is Matty Beniers taking that next step to being a superstar.
Yeah, they'll need a few more goals because all the players they lost and brought back, they actually lost 30 collective goals, but they still have 10 forwards that scored double digits last year. I think the goaltender might be a bit of a question only because of the injury history with Grubauer there, because Drija, he was in the minor leagues last year. Him or Joey Decoud, either one is going to back up. But I think if he's healthy all year, they should definitely get back in the playoffs. And Biz, I wanted to go back to the Shane Wright. He got granted the exemption to play in the AHL this year. Do you think this is a rule they have to change, or just keep doing exemptions? Does it happen enough where they need to make a rule change?
I just like the exemption status side of it, right? And right now there's a rule in place because these junior teams don't want to be losing these 18-year-olds where if they're not going to make the NHL club, they want to fucking be able to sell tickets. So I just think it should be a case-to-case evaluation where in this case, with him being a double underager and him lighting up the OHL like he did, there's no reason for him to go back there. He's not going to develop. That's the perfect spot for him. He gained a lot of experience in that run that he had with Coachella Valley. That was a great run they went on last year. Unfortunately, they lost in what was a double overtime to the Hershey Bears. They were up 3-2 in that series too, and they got a great coach down there in Dan Bilesma, who I had in the American Hockey League, and he's a very knowledgeable guy, and I think that he's going to help him develop at a good pace. Now, I'm interested to see what happens with this kid. It's kind of like a Lafreniere situation where you get this young stud who is a phenom, and all of a sudden he's like not quite NHL ready. So if he gets enough development down there, at some point you'd hope to see him get called up and make an impact with Seattle.
Maybe a little more foot speed, but as he gets older, that'll be there. I also owe an apology to Dave Haskell. And
sacrificial lamb?
If you remember, I said, they're just bringing him in, coach a couple of years, gas him once they get good. And fuck, he proved everyone wrong. He's got those guys playing hard. The 4 second lines. I also think Adam Larson's supremely underrated. Big body, can move the puck. They're just a good all-around team. They really don't have any weaknesses besides in net. And like I said, they were able to be as good as they were last year with really subpar goaltending. So you got to think it improves a little bit. Seattle in the playoffs again, the Kraken.
We owe another apology to the Kraken coaching staff, but this was the Coachella Valley. Jessica Campbell, remember we met her in Nashville, and she right away, I guess we posted a terrible picture of her on the bench celebrating or something. So here's your official apology.
Pissed? Did she message you saying, fuck you, use the good one?
No,
remember
met
we
her,
saw her?
Like,
you don't remember. At lunch in Nashville,
I must not have been there
us.
when you guys met her. Was she bitching about the picture you guys posted?
She was like, joking. Like, really, guys? This was the picture you chose? We blamed it all on memes right away. So this is our official apology.